welcome to Teachers Off Duty. If you've never joined us before, my name is Rebecca Rogers. I'm R. Rogers World on all social media platforms.
And I am Bree Richardson, Honest Teacher Vibes on all social media platforms.
Go ahead.
And I am lashay.greenwood on all social media platforms.
Just a reminder, if you didn't catch it last week, Lauren's plane got canceled. She could not join us. We're really sad about it. These flights are crazy.
It's been crazy.
Absolutely insane.
They've been canceling a lot of flights.
That is why we only have 3 chairs for the next few episodes. We are really hoping that the flight works out tomorrow and that she's back for the next 3.
Right. And if you
Keep your
watched
fingers
the last
crossed.
episode, you know Miss Greenwood is our guest for
Yes, I'm so excited.
these 3 episodes.
And for this episode, we're going to be talking about weird things that teachers do, or as my husband would say, everything that Rebecca does, because she's just really weird. But we asked a lot of our followers and a lot of our subscribers and just our own experiences as
Right.
well. Like, what are some weird things that you've experienced teachers do, that you might do, that you've seen colleagues do? And we got some really, really interesting answers.
I feel like our kids just think that we're weird anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
The fact that like we have like TikTok or whatever,
Right.
like the kids are
Yeah.
like, you're weird. And I'm like, no, you're weird. Like you eat gum off the bottom of
I
a
think that's
dish.
why I love middle school, because they're so weird. And I'm kind of
They
weird.
do
So
weird
we get
stuff.
along.
Like they'll come up
Middle
and say
schoolers
weird
are
stuff.
weird.
That's props to you guys. I could never do middle school. Those kids stress
It's
me
like my
out.
favorite
I
though,
love
man,
middle
because
school.
they really will come up and do some weird stuff.
I'm like, I don't know how to handle it. I'm just like, go sit down, go home. Just go home.
No, I love them middle schoolers. Like
I love middle school.
They come up and just like say weird stuff like, is water wet or does water make things wet? Like what? What?
I
Like,
remember
what?
that. The freshmen are like kind of like
The cameraman over here like, but is it though? But
That's
is
the
it?
question. What did you tell them? What was the consensus in your class?
Like we got into a whole. The good thing is we were working on argumentative writing at the time, so it was like great for that because kids were like, "No, water makes stuff wet. Like water isn't wet." And then another kid was like, "No, water gotta be wet because if it wasn't wet, how would it make things wet?" And I'm like, "Y'all in here having a
They
real
got some good
philosophical conversation."
for real. What the heck?
No, but they think we're weird. But I feel like when I was in school, though, my teachers did some things that I really thought was weird. Like one of my teachers, my basketball coach, but he was also my algebra teacher. Whew, I hated algebra, but he used to put like peanuts in his Dr. Pepper. And I was
What?
like, oh my gosh, he's a witch.
Peanuts and a Dr.
wait.
Pepper? What does that do? Like, what, did he tell you guys what the goal with that is? I don't understand.
I think it's
why.
just the flavor, because
I
I've
think
seen a lot
it's
of
like
people
a
do
sweet.
it.
I think
Yeah.
it was like a sweet and salty thing.
Yeah.
But if y'all know who Joe D is, I saw a TikTok the other day that Joe D did where this girl was popping a popsicle in half, like you know the pop ice popsicles. And she broke it in half, and because people were like, you know, you either cut the top off or you kind of chew
Right.
it to like, and she took it and just broke it in half. And on Joe D's video, he's like sitting in his car and he goes, she's a witch. But he used to, when I saw my teacher do that, I was like, what kind of, he's a serial killer. He's putting peanuts in. Only crazy people would put peanut. I just thought that was the weirdest thing. But then I tried it as an adult and I was like, hey,
Is it not bad?
this kind of hitting a little bit.
I
These
made to
peanuts-
try that.
I tried it as an adult and it was good. But when I was a kid, I was like, these teachers are so weird.
Well, I had someone send me not like just a little excerpt of their science teacher was doing an experiment with like vinegar and things like that, and for some reason just put the vinegar in a regular water bottle, didn't even label it because that's irresponsible.
Oh.
And when he went to grab his own water bottle, accidentally grabbed the vinegar and like
Oh.
inhaled the vinegar and just sprayed it on all
Oh my
the
God.
kids.
Like, ma'am, can you label this, please?
Why would you not think about that? Like that just seems like a pretty common sense.
But here's
Right.
how kids don't pay attention, because why he ain't smelled it was vinegar when this fool opened the bottle before he started
That's true.
drinking.
That's true. That's true.
Because I'm talking about you, like a lot of people use like vinegar and water to clean stuff, and so you know
Yeah.
vinegar like strong.
You know the
Smells.
smells.
But
yeah.
kids, I'm like, did you have COVID then and we just didn't know? Like you couldn't smell that vinegar? Was this?
That's a
Is
good
it
point.
possible?
It's a possibility.
Somebody's freaking out right now. They're like, oh my gosh.
oh my God, it's going.
I can't smell vinegar. I got the vid.
I had someone else send me a thing. 2 people sent me an excerpt about belly buttons. I've never gotten so many stories about belly buttons.
Is this like preschool?
No, one in college. A college kid said that his professor would just sit there and pick his belly button in the middle of class. Like, would just sit there and play with it while lecturing the kids. And then a middle school teacher said that her colleague would boop people's belly buttons.
If you boop my belly button, I'm going to boop your face.
What?
Don't touch my belly button.
Like, it's not even little kids. It's preteens. Why would you boop a kid's belly button? That's just so
that's
weird.
so strange.
But you know what? We did weird stuff when we were in high school, too, though. Like,
A teacher?
well, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Speaking of professors, I had this one professor, I think it was my junior year in college, and she was amazing. She was always very hyper. So every morning before, we started class, she would run 3 laps around the class. And that was her weird thing. She was like, you have to be pumped whenever you're teaching.
She
and
would just
get them
run
engaged.
around?
She would just run around the classroom because she we thought it was weird. And it just got our attention every morning because we're like, she's not okay. She's not okay. So
not
that's
okay.
Yeah.
Like the first day that she did that,
The first day we
did
were
she
scared.
preface it?
And then she was laughing hysterically. I'm like, she's on drugs. But no, we got used to it, and it was just at first.
But the first day that she did it, did she
didn't say
tell
anything.
y'all?
She didn't even introduce
Oh,
herself. She
no.
just started running around the
Oh,
classroom.
no.
So we were
That
just so
is
confused.
so
I was
weird.
like,
Is this like an experiment or something?
but she
Like,
did it every single day for the rest of the semester. Every single day she would run those 3 laps.
Was the
That
classroom
is
big?
so weird.
Yeah, it was pretty. Well, no, it wasn't like one of those big auditoriums. It was kind of like a normal size classroom because we was in our major then.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I think
that's
she
true.
was teaching us how to teach like math or something like that.
You know what? When I substitute teach next year, I'm just going to come in one day and just start running around the classroom.
Please don't.
I think that'd be a good idea. I'm going to do it. But I'm going to tell you one thing I know and 2 for sure. I'm only going to make it 1 lap around. I'm going to be done after that first one, okay? Because I get to breathe in.
Yeah,
and,
it just takes one.
I guess it's a conversation starter. Like when you meet new people, just run into the room, run around. Hi, my name is
I'm
Rebecca.
probably not trying to have no conversation because I consider myself to be a little weird sometimes, but I'm not. If somebody starts running around a room 3 times, especially in the day and time that we live in, I'm exiting out there because why are you running around this room?
Do you remember that sound on TikTok? It's like this lady making coffee in her kitchen. She's like, "Oh, are you running? Are you being chased?
Yes.
Oh, you're running on purpose."
Oh, I remember that. That was like when the pandemic first started. That was a super trending sound.
I
It was
felt
like,
that sound so
are
hard.
you running? Why are you running? Is somebody chasing you? Oh, you're running for fun? It's 7 a.m.
Like, why would you do that to yourself?
Hey man, that was like the height of TikTok during the pandemic. Was people were like coming up with like all kinds of like creative stuff
things,
at the height of the pandemic.
That was the best time on TikTok.
I ain't gonna lie
Like,
to you. I missed
people were
that time.
so creative.
Now I'm irritated with TikTok because every time I pull it up, they try to make me use a filter. Get this stuff off of
Yes!
here. And then when I get ready to, remove the filter, when I get ready to record, it has a sound playing. I'm like, hey,
It took me forever to realize how to get the sound off. I'm like,
TikTok, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Leave my
Right.
stuff
So
alone.
weird.
Leave my stuff alone. Don't touch
Speaking
my
of,
stuff. Leave it alone.
Technology.
I like your eyebrow raising. Speaking of technology.
It's a very, very strange little story that someone sent me.
I like strange stories.
There was a kid in high school that said that their teacher wasn't aware that the kids could see his computer screen from their desks.
Oh, gosh.
Thought he was being really slick, but all the kids watched him every day researching mail order brides.
mail what?
Mail order brides. Like brides that you buy from other
why
countries.
would he research that on the school's computer?
Is that not so weird?
That's
What
so
an
weird.
idiot.
It's so weird.
First of all, you're an idiot for doing. But second of all, why would you research that on the school? They can literally track like everything we do on the school.
People are weird. Like they don't even know. They have no idea.
I'm like, how the kid? What do you know? What age group they were?
High school.
Oh my god!
Like they know what that is.
I did think my high school teachers were kind of weird. I had this one teacher. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was weird. Every morning when we came in on Monday, I used to hate her because I had her class first thing in the morning. I can't even remember what subject it was because I was so bored all the time. But I remember every day we came in, she would play this song called on Monday mornings when we came in, she would play this song called Monday. And Monday. I would just fall asleep during the song, but it was like Monday.
Oh gosh, that's depressing.
What a wonderful day. And I'd be sitting there as like a 16-year-old, man, if you don't turn this foolishness off. And then her kids went to LSU. I hope to God she's not watching this, but she
probably is.
This was when I was like a freshman in high school. She has no idea who I am now. I literally can't even remember her name, but her kids went to LSU, and I'm talking about like she would never stop talking about how her kids went to LSU. Like I'm talking about she was so proud of her kids that they went to LSU, and I'm like, shout out to you. That's cool. Like your kids went to LSU, but you playing Monday, and you keep talking about your kids go to LSU. And when she said something about her kids going to LSU, she always tuck her hair behind her ear. I'm like, my kids, my kids, like that. And I was like 15 years old, and I remember that as a 32-year-old. I'm like, that teacher always used to tuck her hair every time she said something about her kids going to LSU.
I had like a weird, creepy teacher in high school, and I know he does not work there anymore. Like they asked him to leave a couple years after. It wasn't his choice. They asked him to leave a couple years after I graduated. I had him for 2 semesters. And I'm like really
nervous. What did he
teach? He taught Law and Justice and AP Gov.
You took Law and Justice in high school?
So
bougie.
I originally thought about law school and things like that.
That's why you could have worked for the FBI.
Absolutely. Well, even more so, we never learned anything about Law and Justice or AP Gov. We learned all year about the JFK assassination. Like that's it.
How you teach a whole year about like both semesters?
That's all he would talk about. Like that's all he wanted to. We watched movies about it. We watched like all these things. I like now know all about the conspiracies about the JFK assassination. But even more than that, like he was also creepy. Like he straight up asked me if he could keep some of my senior photos in his desk. Like he wanted me to bring him senior photos and put it in his desk.
Sir, I'm gonna beat your A. If Peyton ever have a teacher like now, this the kind of teacher I'm gonna square up on. Because if my baby come home, I'm gonna ask you first.
Then he had assigned seats. So first semester, like it was all in alphabetical order, right? Second semester, everyone else was in alphabetical order, and I was put right in front of his desk.
Oh no.
It was very weird.
Becca, did you tell your parents?
At the time, I was like, I was just really
sometimes as a high schooler,
And then, like looking back, I was like, wow, that was really not okay.
Yeah.
And my ex in high school, the one that I was with right before Avery, when he was cheating on me.
Your ex was cheating on you?
Yeah.
Ex, whoever you is out there, you messed up because this could have been you.
Right. He watches all of our stuff.
She switched the number to her phone, so now you can't call it.
He watches all of our stuff.
Oh my God.
You creeper!
I always get it's weird. But the same teacher, one day I just walked into class and he's like, I heard about your boyfriend and I just want you to know that you're prettier than the girl he cheated on you with.
That is like unacceptable.
It was so
that
weird.
If you are a teenager, and you, because at the time when we were teenagers,
we didn't
there's
realize
just certain things that you don't realize like until later when you process it. Like, hey,
that was really
if
unacceptable.
you are a teenager right now, and because we realize we have a lot of kids that watch the podcast, which is awesome. We're super grateful that y'all watch the podcast. But if you have an experience like that, you need to tell
absolutely. Like that's not just a weird
somebody.
That's not just a weird quirky teacher. Like that's inappropriate.
Like
it's weird but also inappropriate. You need to tell somebody because that's not okay. Now you see why they asked him to leave.
Right. Yeah. I had a teacher in high school. I will never forget her. Her name was Miss Harden, and she was the hardest teacher I ever had. And one of the weird things that she used to do is Miss Harden was one of those old school teachers. She ain't never stand up and teach, but you better be paying attention because she was the type of teacher like you think you gonna sleep, but she would throw a book at you. Like she will throw something. And I will never forget, she used to always talk about her husband Harvey that passed away, and she loved him. Like I would at the time when I was a teenager, and I was just like, this teacher is mean, and she always talking about rent. And she was my English 4 teacher when I was a senior. And she used to always talk about like random stuff, and she always talked about Harvey. But the weirdest thing that she did, she would literally be sitting up there lecturing, because she didn't stand up. She had her little podium and her little stool, because she had been teaching forever.
Right.
And she was a fantastic teacher. Like when I got to college, everybody, English 1 was like so hard for everybody, but it was so easy for me because Miss Harden's class was so freaking hard in high school.
So awesome.
But she would be standing up there, she would be sitting up there teaching. And she would be in the middle of talking about like citing sources or whatever, and she would just randomly start laughing. And I was like
that scares me.
The very first time that she did that, we were like, what's she laughing at? She was just talking about MLA format. What's funny? And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. She said, I've been doing this for so long that I can teach but be thinking about something else at the same time. And she said, I was just thinking about something that made me laugh. And so, but she would like be sitting up there teaching, and she would just randomly start laughing.
Enough to the point that you like still remember it to this day.
Like, you have those core memories from high school. And I was just like, the first time that she did that, I wish that y'all could have been a fly on the wall, because the whole class was like,
so confused.
Like, what's she laughing at? But she used to always talk about her husband Harvey. But shout out to R.I.P. to Miss Harden, because she was a good teacher. She prepared me well for English 1, but she scared the crap out of me.
Not gonna lie, for a second, I thought you were about to say that she said, sorry, Harvey made me laugh.
I know. I thought she was going to make a morbid joke.
That's what I was really preparing for, and I was like, oh no.
She loved her Harvey, man, but she did some weird stuff. You know what? Another weird thing, I had a professor in college, speaking of college professors, he was which one you take first in college, sociology or psychology? Because your freshman year, they make you, I did both. I want to say I did sociology first. So I think he was he was my psychology teacher, because this had to have been a psychological thing he was trying to do. But he would come in and teach every day, and he would play, God, what is the name of that sport? It's inside an enclosed room. It's like tennis, but it's like
hockey.
No.
Pickleball, racquetball?
Racquetball. That's the name of it. So he would play racquetball every morning before class. And then when he came to class, he would have on this like long sleeve white button down that would be soaking wet.
Oh, no.
But obviously, like, he didn't play racquetball in that shirt. But like, and he had like no shame about it, bro. Like, he just walked around like his whole shirt wasn't wet. Like, hey, big dog, your whole shirt, do you need some water? Your whole shirt, do you need some milk? But the weirdest thing that he ever did, aside from that, would be like on a day of a test, he would come in, give us a test, and then walk out. And this was a freshman class, so like you said, the freshman classes is like an auditorium. There's like like at least 100 kids in there, or 100 college students in there, and he would give you the test and he would walk out.
I wonder if he had like those they're kind of like TAs. What do you call them in college? I don't know. I wonder if he had those people sitting there.
No,
I wonder if it was a part of the class, because it's sociology.
I think it was a psychology thing. Like, I think it was an experiment for him to see, because I think that was like his way of doing an engaging lesson, because we were the ones that were watching the people who would get up and cheat. And like, I remember this one dude, like one of the basketball players, but he did not care. Every single time he walked out the door, oh, I'm getting 100. I don't care who paper I got to cheat off of. Like,
oh my God.
He would get in the whole class. We would just be looking at him like, bro, you really gonna cheat? Like, just because it's like the people who go get a shopping cart, but they don't put it back in the rack before they drive. Like, they just rolling into the parking lot.
That reminds me of the teacher. Did y'all see the meme where like the teacher, she walked out, she gave, I guess she gave the students a test, and she would be like, she was in the ceiling, peeking through.
The ceiling?
Y'all didn't see that picture? Okay. You remember that picture?
Okay.
It was.
I did not know that was real. I thought that was a meme, and I was like, why is somebody playing? Because it was like, the meme was like admin whenever I sit down, and like you look
she was
up.
in the ceiling looking at how did she get up there? I don't know. It's very strange.
That is so weird.
People are so weird.
Girl, that is weird.
That's very
I've seen that meme everywhere.
I love that meme because
I did not know that was like a real thing.
It's the most random thing.
I didn't know that was real.
Yes.
But I mean, I just was like, that teacher, like, he would just walk out. And I would be like you could tell the people, but I know it was like a psychology experiment.
Right. Oh,
like
absolutely.
he was trying to see who had integrity, like
Right.
who would do the right thing even when no one is watching. And then who didn't care whether people were watching or not, they were going to do, because there were several people in there, like it's 90 other people in here, and like the people that would just get up and cheat, like they did not care. That in itself showed like they didn't care what other people thought they was gonna do. But then you got the people that like they sat next to their best friend, and them and their best friend would like talk about the answers. Then you had the people that was like, I'm not cheating.
Right, they're too scared.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, big dog, I can't remember which one I was. I'm not.
You know what I bet? You know how like college professors have to publish every so often?
Oh, that's true.
I wonder if it was about like an experiment that he published.
But I'm like, did he have a camera in there?
I wonder
like,
what happened to those
maybe
kids
he was in
that
the
like got
ceiling.
up and cheated.
Maybe he was in the ceiling.
No, probably he could not get up there in the ceiling. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that right now. But I don't feel like I had like any other weird like my teachers doing weird things. But you know how like in school, like if we speak to another male teacher, our kids automatically think that us and that teacher are dating.
Yes.
I will never forget, we had these two teachers that like I'm not gonna say their names because I'm friends with them on Facebook,
right.
and one of them planned my sister's wedding, and like they're fantastic people and we love them. But when we were in high school, they were like the couple that we were all like, oh my God, did you see that such and such and such and such were dating? And it was like the biggest deal. And
I feel like when I started the thing with Coach, y'all know I started like the little TikTok thing. My kids went crazy, and then I moved to another school, and this coach came up to me. He was like, "Are those TikToks about me?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." It was so awkward. He just insisted that those videos were about him. It was just so strange.
That's
every single day.
awkward.
I don't know.
Okay, but was Coach a real person?
He's a real person.
Okay, but so you know everybody gonna want to know, because I'm like, is Coach your boo? What's Coach your boo? Like, I got questions. You ain't got to spill the tea on him, Miss
Right,
Greenwood.
I'll tell you later.
Okay, you can tell me later. But like the fact that coach was like, are these videos about me, us, or hell no?
Right.
Like,
And before we even
you.
started talking, the kids were all like put us together already. Like, you know, they would try to match make us.
Oh,
like
yeah.
me and
Kids
Coach,
always
they
try to ship teachers.
Someone sent me a story of a teacher that would like have yard sales, and anything that he couldn't sell at his yard sale, he would take to school and try to sell to the kids, and would like try to convince them they
This
needed
like back
these.
in the day, because you cannot do that now. Like you
Right.
I mean, they are like my age, so it couldn't have been that long ago.
Right.
It had to be within the last decade.
It's so strange.
You would get in so much trouble now if you tried to do that.
Yeah, because I don't even think you can sell like snacks and things.
You can't.
anymore.
Even
No.
the kids, like the kids can't do that, because you know we all get them kids that come to school backpack full of snacks.
and they sell a bag of chips for like $5.
And them kids be like buying that stuff. And I'm like, bruh, I know. I don't do math. I don't do public math, but that math ain't
math
mathing
ain't
right
mathing.
if you paying $5 for a bag of chips.
You know what really doesn't math right is another teacher said that like the staff bathroom was clogged and couldn't figure out why, and they had to get admin to have someone look at it. Apparently a teacher down the hall had a class pet, a hamster, that died, and she thought that the way to dispose of it was to flush it down the toilet. And it just got stuck in the pipes. And so there was just a hamster
Why would you
clogging the
flush?
toilet.
Why would anybody think that?
She's like, you
But
flush
can you
fish
imagine
down?
how traumatized you would be if you go to pee and you see a hamster?
Yes. I'm always scared a snake is gonna come up and bite me. That's like my nighttime fear when I get up to go pee in the middle of the night. Like a snake's just gonna come up out of the toilet.
Now I'm gonna fear that. Now I'm gonna think about it.
I thought you were about to say that one of the teachers blew up the teachers' lounge bathroom.
Right.
Because those people get on my nerves.
I used to hate it.
Yeah.
They get on my nerves. I'm like, you just left your freaking house.
Yeah.
Like, I know your coffee didn't hit, but at least courtesy flush or something. Dang.
Yes.
I'm like, weird. The things that the teachers' lounge always drove me crazy, because the fact that you have to tell grown people that I'm not your mama, clean this stuff up in here and flush the daggum toilet. Like, why are you peeing? And then and if you pee on the daggum seat, wipe it off.
Clean the microwave when you finish.
Yes.
That's to break my
gosh.
gun. I hated that.
Don't freaking heat up fish in the teacher's lounge microwave.
No.
And don't leave the daggum copy machine jammed.
I don't understand. Like, these are grown adults, and it's not even all like new teachers.
that's
Sometimes
some
it's
weird
veteran
stuff.
teachers
Oh,
that
for
just
sure.
have been there for decades and are like, oh, I have to clean my stuff up.
Yeah.
What have you been doing for the last 20 years?
I feel like it's worse when they know they're about to retire, so they can just get away with
They
it.
don't care about.
They don't care about
Bruh,
anything.
them teachers that's about to retire, baby,
They're like,
they
I'm outta
look-
here anyway, so it
they
doesn't really matter.
look if you book. I'm
Right.
like, I don't think you can cuss that kid out, but I guess since you finna quit, baby, you can do whatever you so desire.
Right.
But I'm just like, the fact that the teachers lounge, like, we had to tell people, like, one of the teachers broke the daggum toilet seat, and I'm like,
What?
I'm like, why is the toilet seat broken here?
How
Like,
does that
I
happen?
don't know. I'm like, bro, was you just tired and you just plopped down on it because you was like, it's been a long day. I just had my worst class I ever had, and you plopped down and broke the daggone toilet seat. Like, that don't make no kind of sense.
That is so crazy.
Teachers
are worse than kids sometimes.
Someone else sent me one about a teacher about to retire that just didn't care and spent all class period teaching about American politics.
Oh gosh.
But they're from they're in Canada.
Oh gosh.
So like it really doesn't
Wow.
make sense.
So he really was like, I'm gonna do what I
don't
want.
care at all.
I'm gonna do
Right.
me, and y'all do you, because y'all can't do nothing to me. Like veteran teachers, I love veteran teachers, man.
I do too.
You ever watch veteran teachers when kids get to fighting?
Oh, they know they know what to do.
Bro, veteran teachers, I mean, they are so unbothered. Somebody trying to break them up. First
Stop
year teachers
fighting.
Right,
first
they're
year
just-
teachers be running to a fight, and the veteran teacher, let
them
me get a
figure it
couple more
out.
licks in. Let me get a couple more licks in. What you breaking them up for? Baby sitting there eating a whole 4-course meal. Y'all ain't gonna
Yes.
say nothing. Can you call somebody? Can you call somebody? They down here fighting. Like you, child.
Oh no, don't hit people.
Like that one teacher, it's like, stop, don't fight, like quit. Like, I know this is like weird things that teachers do, but again, going back to like some of the weird things that students do, y'all know people send us their stories all the time, but one teacher said that she had a kid come up to her and he wanted to show her what was in his little box.
Oh no.
Oh
And
no.
I was like, what? Ugh. So she said when he opened the box, it was like scabbed skin. Like he
In the
that is
box?
not nasty. That's disgusting.
What?
I will never forget that teacher sending me that story because I was like, that's a little serial killer. Like,
And why
that's
does
a
he
little
have
criminal
it?
minds. And why he have it?
And whose is it?
Whose
Yeah,
scabs is it?
I hope it was like I don't know who's, but how would you? Wow, how would you? How would you have enough that the teacher noticed what it was like?
And that you had to have a box for it.
Oh,
And I think
that's
it was
like
a
serial
wooden
killer.
box.
That's like serial killer trophies.
And I think it was a wooden box. I'm like, I don't know what grade the kid was in, but
it doesn't matter.
I don't know what
That
grade.
She
does
better
not
watch him.
matter.
no, and we're not saying there's anything wrong with like being weird or quirky or whatever, because I consider myself like weird sometimes. Like we
Yes,
all do
we're
like
all
weird
weird.
things, but
That's
I was
too
like,
much for me.
that's a little
Right.
scary. That ain't even weird. That's a little scary.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you, big dog. That scripts me out a little bit.
Someone else said that a teacher used to scare kids into behaving because their class pet was a tarantula and
no.
would tell kids that if they
No, no, no.
misbehaved, they would let the tarantula out on their desk. That's cruel. That's weird, but that's
some
also
of the
cruel.
stuff that you try to do now, you would never.
No.
Some of these stories, I'm like, this had to have been like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
because
wow
you
ago.
could
no
never.
way. Oh, they said that they got fired, so I'm assuming it's sometime.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Recently,
know.
then.
Right, because they
I'm
would have
like,
definitely got fired for
like
that.
everybody gonna be like, honest teacher vibes is scared of bugs. I am not
Yeah.
kidding. We had to read a story to like, as we used to get together for our ELA meetings and decide as a team what we were teaching that week. They wanted to teach a story that had a really large tarantula on the first page. I was like, no, I'm not. So weird things that teachers do, I didn't do it. I was like, I'm not. And everybody in the meeting was looking at me, or 5 other ELA teachers, and I was like, there are spiders on multiple pages. I am not teaching this story because I can't. I'm like, I cannot for an entire week teach a story that has spiders in it. Like, I just can't. Yeah. I'm just weird like that. I do not like bugs. I don't like bugs, and I for sure don't like spiders. Like, I can't. And it was a huge tarantula, and they were all literally looking at me like, are you a child right now? Like, we're teaching this story. And I said, and I'm like a team player at school. Like, I'm a rule follower and I'm a team player. And I was just like, I'm
No.
not teaching this story. Like, y'all can teach whatever y'all want to, but that's a tarantula the size of my phone on their first page, and it's other little spiders on the other pages.
Yeah.
Baby, room 305 will not be participating in this particular story. So I think we read like Country Mouse and Town Mouse. Do you know Country Mouse and Town Mouse?
No.
You taught ELA, so you know Country.
I don't think
You
I
don't know
remember
Country
that.
Mouse and Town. Somebody listening right now is like, Country Mouse and Town Mouse.
I've
It
never heard
sounds
of that
familiar,
before.
but I don't think I remember.
I think we used it to teach like compare and contrast of different stories and like text features and stuff like that. But I like the little Country Mouse, Town Mouse.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end. But we love y'all. Also, don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. Teachers Off Duty is on YouTube, Instagram,
TikTok.
and TikTok.
And Facebook. I think we have a Facebook page now, right?
We got a Facebook page.
I thought so.
Look at the Lord. I think we got a Facebook group, but I don't think we got a page.
I thought the page was a new thing, but I could be crazy.
I
My
don't
brain
know,
is
but
shot.
it-
I have not been home in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe find us on the Faces of Book if you can. If not, you can shop our merch. We do have board teachers merch, and we have Teachers Off Duty merch. The teachers, I always forget the name of, what is it? Shop.
Lauren always knows what it is.
We need Lauren, we need you.
Thanks, Devin.
Camera, it's shop.boardteachers.com. So we love y'all, best friends. We will talk to y'all next time.
Bye, my lovelies.